my masters in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. It might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk to beast, dog tail jack, go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my masters in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Let that fuse and run. Whoa, let that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my masters in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beast, dog tail jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my masters in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Let that fuse and run. Whoa, let that fuse and run. Whoa.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to this week's episode of the K-Gun Report. I'm your host, Scott. We have a fun panel joining us tonight. A couple of our guests from Through the Uprights, Patrick and Corey, and of course, Jared's joining us. We have some updates this past week. We have OTAs, Hard Knocks, all that good stuff. We will tap into that once we come back. But hey, as always, leave the comments going, guys. We'll get you up on the screen and we'll talk some Bills football. We'll see you in a second. Love it. Love it. Welcome to the K-Gun Report. Happy Tuesday, everyone. But more importantly, happy Memorial Day. I know it was yesterday, but our show's on Tuesday, and I'd be remiss to mention the first and foremost, remember and honor our fallen troops who have served and given the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms to be able to come on the show every Tuesday and express how we feel about anything we want without having any kind of reparations. So, not reparations, you know what I mean. But we got a fun panel. I do want to express my thank you to Corey Blaine. He's down there at the bottom below me. I like to remember those that have served as well. They have given a sacrifice in giving a sacrifice. So thank you for your service, Corey. It's much appreciated, my friend. So you guys see a panel of four. I said I'd start with Patrick because he's the one that's going to give us a little bit of information about him and Corey and Rob Mullins through the uprights. But Patrick, welcome to the show, friend of the show, friend of ours. Patrick, tell us a little bit about you real quick, and tell us what the Through the Uprights is about.
Well, I've been a long time uh, fan and supporter of the show, and it turned into where I said for the last couple years that hey, that'd be something I'd like to try to do one day. And I, we met Corey last year through this, and then I've known Rob the last couple years through it, and we just put it together. And we go live every Thursday right now, about 8 o'clock at night, and it's on the between my page and the cover two, which is the fan page that's part of. And yeah, it's all we do is it's I don't like to make it a copycat of you guys, but literally it's just like you guys said, just go out there, have fun. Who cares what anybody says? And that's how I roll with it. So
Oh, hell yeah. Fan first perspective type of thing. I watch your guys' show. I like what you guys are doing. And you got a co-host right there, Corey Blaine. What's up, Corey? Say hi to everyone. And what's up, my
Hey
friend?
guys. Like I said, you've seen me in the comments here for a little over a year now, and then, like Pat said, we do Through the Uprights on Thursdays. Wednesdays the last few weeks because I've been super busy, but finally it's all over with. But happy to be on. Thank you guys for having me, and can't wait to talk Bills.
Welcome to the show, you two. And of course, you guys recognize the guy at Kitty Corner, my twin brother, brother from the same mother. Jared, what's up?
Not too much. Just finally getting a break in the weather, and got my lawn mowed. And you guys know that I mention it every time. So.
Every time.
No, the pads or the players are on the fields, throwing the balls around, catching the balls, warming up. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys, and I'm excited to talk a little bit about actual football that's happening. So can't wait to get it going.
Nice. Believe it or not, in the comments we have Patrick Hughes saying, "What's up, Mafia? Let's talk." Right after Corey Blaine, who's that good-looking guy in the alien jersey. There you go.
it wouldn't be the K Gun Report without Corey and I making some comment.
Hey, man. I'm sure Swank will be in here soon. Swank is busy, guys. He's got a lot of music going on. The Endless Mountain Derelicts. If you're in the area or around the area, or don't follow that page, follow that page. Great music, great content. And he's been a busy musician for actually he'll be busy for the next 28 days. I think, Jared, he said 10 shows in the next 28 days.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about you, Swank. Good luck. Have fun. Do your thing. We'll see you when you come back. John Johns, time for some 24/7. Hey, everybody. What's up, John Johns? The lovely Paulette Brown says, good evening, my Mafia family. Let's go, Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Football, fire, heart, emoji. This is Sparta. What's up, boys? Who wants to do the Mafia mount up? Corey, you're up.
I gotta do it.
Do it. Yeah, I'll put you on the spot.
All right. Here you go, Spartan. Mafia!
You can tell it's loud when the speakers go out.
Buffalo Spartan. I tried to get a little. What am I supposed to say? I need a weapon or something like that. I was going to look up some Halo stuff and I forgot to, but I'll get on you next week.
All Jared remembers is getting killed. That's all.
Yep.
Happy Tuesday, Doug Augie. What's up? Best hour of the week. Thanks, Doug. Let's see, Mary Jane Brown Hughes. Let's go. There you go. Hi, Mary Jane. Alberto Rivero. OG. Hello, everyone. Tuesday night fun. John Diaz says, hello, fellas. John Diaz actually personal messaged me today. He's like, hey, what time's the show? Looked it up and found it. Welcome to the show, John Diaz. Rob Mullen. It's Bedlam. It's Pandemonium. It's 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. Rob Mullen is also, he's the host of the Through the Uprights. Again, it's Thursdays, right, guys? Thursday into the cover two, which is a separate on Facebook. And then they're on all the time, fellas.
Oh, Jess, what time? It's usually 8 o'clock at night.
All right. I should know that because I don't know. I'm putting my kids to sleep at that time, so I got the phone up watching on like as far as I can get it, but still hear it. I need a weapon, Buffalo Spartans. There you go. And the lovely Ellen Lart says, let's get cracking and go Bills. What's up, Ellen? What's up, everyone out in the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X world? This is a fan first perspective show. We talk about anything Buffalo Bills. We like to keep any of the content we bring up relevant And we have a lot of stuff to talk about this week because there's been a lot of stuff that happened in the last 7 days. First and foremost, I want to mention we do belong to the Buff Fan Base Network. If you haven't checked them out, go on X, Twitter, 180,000 strong, but they have a show on every day of the week, it seems like. And it's different content, but you get a bunch of different personalities, which is a beautiful thing. And subscribe, all those networks, especially ours at 24/7 Buff Pandemonium, and enjoy your Buffalo Bills content during this lull time of the season. We are also sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. If you don't know about them now, go check them out. It's a big Bills Mafia thing. We're all about donating money to help families in need. This particular one has very relevant, very creative merchandise. You can go purchase, and the money goes and helps out a Western New York family in need. It's a win-win-win situation. Just make it easy on yourself. 26shirts.com. The rest is history. They have some sweet-ass merchandise there. Chris Christian says 24/7. And then John Robert says, do you know the training camp dates yet? I don't know the training camp dates exactly, but I think the started today. And all right, guys, bunch of things to talk about, obviously, within the last week. We found out last week that the Buffalo Bills will actually be the Hard Knocks team that's being followed. I'm honestly surprised. I did not think that this would be a team that would be Hard Knocks would follow, seeing how, generally speaking, they like to follow some dramatic teams or teams that just brought in someone like, I don't know, an Aaron Rodgers or somebody that's going to boost up their rankings. But Jared, I'll start with you here. Hard Knocks, obviously the Bills winning. Obviously the media is going to pay attention to the winning team, and it's a long time coming, but now we have the MVP in the league. What's your feelings about us being on Hard Knocks now?
I think it's a great thing. A lot of us like to watch embedded, so we get a little bit of our own Hard Knocks that way. But there are concerns, I guess. Maybe some stuff that might get leaked out, schemes and stuff like that you might see. I know people complain about that, scenarios that come up during camps and stuff, but I don't know how much weight that holds. But it's about time that HBO got it right with a team that's actually a contender and actually been winning. It's going to open up a lot of eyes to outside fans, maybe like Tyreek Hill, where she can actually see how the fan base is, and the Buffalo Bills team with regards of the culture. And I know he started his career out there in Kansas City, but he's down there in Miami now running his mouth, and he doesn't know what an actual fan base is until he looks up here north to us. So I think it's good for a lot of outside fans to see what this whole culture thing is about. And we see it, and it's awesome. I think it's a great thing for New York. It's also made fun of a lot because we have a lot of podcasts, and I think that's going to show through a little bit with this too. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, upstate New York podcasts for Buffalo Bills are kind of like golf courses around there. You can't not find, no matter what town you go to, there's someone giving out content. Patrick, yeah, the Hard Knocks, man, and I'm going to Corey next. Are you excited about it? Kind of iffy about it? How are you feeling about this Hard Knocks thing?
I'm all right with it. I mean, look, you knew stuff like this was going to have to come. Josh Allen just won the league MVP. Clearly, he's becoming a big name in the NFL, despite the fact that the media always likes to portray him and the Bills as a bad team no matter what we do. Oh, it's the same old Bills all the time. Well, guess what? It's not. And you're going to see some of that when Hard Knocks does eventually show up. I'll touch on the Tyreek Hill thing with Jared. Look, let's call what it is. He should be listening to a teammate that he has there. The last guy that called Josh Allen and the Bills fans trash was Jalen Ramsey. Mm-hmm. And every time Josh Allen plays against Jalen Ramsey, he lights him up every time. So you know what? You want to be the next one to get lit up all the time by the Bills? Go ahead, run your mouth.
I think I saw a stat today saying that Tyreek Hill against the Buffalo Bills is like 2-6, 2-8. Obviously, those two wins are during playoff time, but overall record not so good. Corey,
he won one time in a Dolphins uniform against the Bills, and that was the game where we were having like heat stroke on the sideline. So,
oh yeah, for sure. What's up, Corey? Tell us about the Hard Knocks. You excited?
On both ways. I'm excited about it. Like you said, it brings a light to upstate New York. And I mean, a lot of our guys already have their little shows and well, not like shows, but the players have their little things they do on social media and that. Everybody knows Snowman, everybody the saying, Josh Allen does like even the little videos with the new stadium being built, even goes over and like lays down in like the ditch area and acts like he's living there and stuff. So I think it's awesome that way because they're going to get to see how that upstate New York, the people here, all that are really like that. That's how it is here. So I'm excited for that. I don't want it to be a distraction. I don't really think it will. I think McDermott and Bean and them have a good rap on the guys and have a good rap enough to keep it from being a distraction. It's early enough in the season, it won't be. So I'm kind of excited for it, kind of on the fence about it, but can't wait to see what happens. And then everyone says, "Oh, Hard Knocks, they never win the Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah," and whatever. Who cares? Well, we'll be one team has to do it the first time, right? Why not us?
Yeah, yeah, and you got to consider some of the teams they've been following. I mean, not the best teams that they've been. Like I said, they went after the Jets because Aaron Rodgers was there. They picked teams that they think they're going to give them the big story. My personal take on it: primetime teams deserve primetime coverage. I think they deserve it. I think I don't think it'll be a stage that's going to distract them because let's be honest. OTAs, training camps, whenever it is, there's cameras all over the place anyway. So what? It's going to be an extra 2 or 3 camera crews out there. So it's going to be exciting. I think what drew him here is not only the fact that we have that MVP quarterback, but that the culture thing is a contagious thing. A lot of people say, well, culture doesn't win Super Bowls. No, it doesn't, but it brings a hell of a program. It could win us a Super Bowl, we're hoping, but it's about time the NFL got their shit together and kind of is bringing light what's good about football. And I'm not saying the other teams aren't good, but I'm saying culture, good coaching, good organization, all that stuff is nice to see on TV. Corey, I will say, because I had you go last, and sometimes there's not a lot of meat on the bone to pick after that. Another thing that was brought up during these votes last week is that flag football is now going to be an Olympic sport, 2028. I'm personally excited about it. I have my own thoughts about it, but I will go last. Corey, what's your take on this whole flag football thing and the NFL flag football thing, the Olympics?
Like you said, I'm excited for it, but then a little bit of it is I also don't want to take away from the guys the unknown name guys that have been playing flag football forever because they weren't good enough for the other leagues, or that's what they loved, and put it on the map enough that it is an Olympic sport now. So I kind of see where they're coming from. You guys automatically get a spot just because you're an NFL player and a big name. And that the thing I don't like is that it takes away a spot from one of them that should be there that had done it, that has good enough talent to do it. But then the NFL player comes in. And I also don't want, me and Pat were talking a little bit about it. And Rob, I don't want players with big contracts to go play and do that. Not that I don't want them to represent their country and wouldn't be excited to see a Josh Allen out there, something like that. But still, you pay him so much money. I don't want to. There's something's got to happen if you get injured. I'm excited for it, but I don't know. Is it just another distraction, another way for players to get hurt? And so I see both sides of the quarter.
For sure. It's one of those things that the NFL is tapping into everything right now. International football, it's like they're getting away with a lot. They're spreading their NFL logo everywhere and in everything. There will be a point where it catches up, and it's just a lot to handle. And the Olympics might be one of the situations. Patrick, what's your take with these guys? We did discuss before the show started. It looks like it's one player per team that'll be able to go if they even do that. What's your take on this whole Olympic thing in 2020?
So I think it's a good thing to include the NFL in it to an extent because at this point you're trying to grow it. It's going to be the first time ever that you're going to see some sort of football in the Olympics. So obviously you got to draw in crowds. So the only way to do that is to bring in some NFL players. The bad thing is, let's be honest, it's going to happen in August, usually around training camp preseason when the Olympics happens. You're not going to see big name guys like Josh Allen or Tyreek Hill or Travis. You're not going to see those guys go because of the fact that it's around that time. So, and again, it's probably going to be, the teams are probably going to allow a guy that probably wouldn't make the roster go. So again, it's the only one of the big four American sports that isn't represented in the Olympics, and now it will be to this extent. So, again, I can see this going either way. I think it's good for the Olympics. I think it's good to promote the flag football, to have that there, because then that spotlight. But I think it's horrible that you're going to take a guy that should be trying to make a roster right around that time of training camp preseason, when the most eyes are going to be on him to make the roster, and now he's not even going to be in the picture. So,
Right.
good.
That's a great point that you brought up, the time of the year that the Olympics are happening too. You got to take that into consideration. Jared, before I get to you, Rob Schneider, what's up, Robbie? Hi guys, what's up, Mafia? What's up, Robbie? Joey Hatch from the 12th Man Mafia. Hello, Reed Brothers. What's up? He also says, "What's up, Corey?" And he also said, "What's good, Patrick?" And Brasco says, "I think it will be exciting to watch, but I think they didn't have another team they could put on, and they just picked the bill." Oh, they're talking about Hard Knocks. See, I'm trying to catch up to these guys. You guys are kicking ass in the comments. We have almost 600 live viewers, which is crazy. But to go off the Olympics thing, Adam Barasco says, "Could you imagine Justin Jefferson in the Olympics?"
No, they'll never allow him.
Yeah.
Let the retired guys do it. The
Exactly.
guys that really don't have, still have a little, like the Terrell Owens, the guys like that. Let them guys go do it.
Yeah, go let Aaron Rodgers play in the flag football.
There you go. Yeah, right. Nate Nacho, what's up, Bills bros? Good points. No way organizations will allow the NFL superstars to play. Everyone's saying I'm a little spotty. We'll work through it, guys. We'll work through it. Buffalo Spartan says they should probably worry about ensuring the refs are better trained across the board and not about expanding their brand, but it's all about the money. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Jared, give us your take on the flag football.
Yeah, I'm right there with like Patrick. I don't think you're going to see any superstars going to this thing. If we can remember back about 20 years ago, there was a fullback, Evans, from the Patriots, who went and played flag football during the All-Star week.
Robert Edwards.
Edwards. Okay. Edwards, you got it, bro.
There was a fullback, Evans. You're right, though. You're right.
But he went and blew his knee out during one of those games. So I can see maybe like a player that's maybe trying, like the rugby players that they have come play, they might want them to go play maybe a little bit to get a little bit more football speed underneath their belt. But I think flag football is a totally different game than the NFL. Mm-hmm. They do all these different passes, laterals. The coverage is probably still the same, but the scheme and the rules are definitely different. There are kids who play this game all the time, so they're very, very good. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but they won't be able to play in the NFL. They can't. I don't think they're actually big enough or they're actually fast enough. But I think the NFL players could hang if they had a couple weeks or months to establish or adapt to the game speed and how it works in the flag football. But again, I think it's a good idea to say, hey, we are going to allow NFL players, but I also think it's a good idea for them not to have them in there.
Jared always playing devil's advocate. Yes and
I got
no.
gas left in the tank. You'll see me out there.
I just personally, I feel bad for the people that have brought it up from the ground up. With kind of like what you all were saying. There's a lot of athletes out there that, and Jared, like you said, the rules are totally different. There's run zones. There's a different amount of. It's just totally different. It is a different game. I think you give the guys a chance that have brought it from the ground up, because there's. I mean, it's not like there's 5 leagues in the area that are trying to get these players. There's thousands and thousands of players out there because it is such a big thing. The NFL flag football is a huge market. ESPN2 is following it. They got athletes like you wouldn't believe that I feel could hang. I mean, it's the first year. It'll be the inaugural year for it. So let's see how it is by letting these guys, these amateurs, go out there and show their stuff. I don't think the NFL should be any part of it. Like Patrick alluded to, it's during the August time of year, so you should be more worried about making the NFL roster than trying to make the Olympics. I mean, that is a huge thing, but it is.
You might see more defensive linemen doing it. I could see the hog mollies up front going in there and playing, but none of the specialty players at all.
But that would be the thing. If you were to pick a quarterback, would you go Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
Josh Allen all the time.
I know in the NFL, but Lamar Jackson can run like the wind blows, as Forrest Gump would say.
So
I
can
mean,
Josh.
I know,
Well, I think
but
the ruling also
He's not
was
as fast.
I
yeah.
think the ruling was more so the NFL just saying, "Listen, we're not going to be the ones to say no.
Yep.
We're leaving that up to the teams and the
Dudes
players.
won't even go to
We just-
voluntary practice. They shouldn't
We're
get
just
to go
not
to the
going to say no."
Olympics.
I know the NFL's trying to get rid of that whole moniker that they're the no fun league. Well,
Mhm.
if we don't have, we made a rule. We're not the ones that are saying no. That's up to you guys.
Well, I'm going to shut us all up. Adam Barasco has the answer. The UFL guys should do it. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Nate Nacho says, "How fun would it be to see freshly retired star players? Give me like a
Yes.
Drew Brees playing quarterback."
Yep. Let them
Oh, yeah.
go do it.
Yeah.
That's
Andre
ready
Reed
to
can
go?
still play. I
They
bet you
could
Andre
play
Reed can
another
still go
4 or
out there and
5
play.
years of flag football.
You know who probably could still do it? That's been retired for years. I could see Jerry Rice doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tom Brady, I mean, as much as I don't care for the guy, he could go out there for a few more years and do it.
All right. So you're bringing up Tom Brady. We might actually mention his name later in the episode. We only have a one Tom Brady mention quota. So he better not be brought up later. I'm just saying
You
that
didn't
we have a
tell me
topic
that, man.
we're going to be. I just want to take a minute now, guys. We're only 23 minutes into the show. The comments are coming in like crazy, as they always do. You guys are always such a great support. We have 800 plus live viewers, and yeah, leave a comment, join the conversation, join the Stampede is what we always say here at 24/7 Buff Pandemonium on the K Gun Report. And again, we're sponsored by 26 Shirts and part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Great conversation, fellas. I knew that we each have some sort of take on it, so that's always a fun discussion. Now let's bring it back a little bit. OTA started today. I know they just probably had, assigned lockers and all that stuff. Probably not much went into OTAs today, but there are two tidbits of information. Jared, we're going to start with you on this one, so prepare. Everyone showed up except for James Cook and Joey Bosa, and I want you to address them both, guys, as we go around, so it's not two separate entities. Cook didn't show up. Bosa, calf injury already been stated to not do the rest of the OTAs, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready for training camp. What's up, J-Rod?
So first and foremost, John Robert, I know you asked about training camp dates. We really don't have any yet. The mandatory mini camp starts June 10th and 12th. That's the only thing I got for you. Now, until those dates come along, I don't care what James Cook does. He can do whatever he wants. He's a vet in this league now, and I think that I think it's okay. It's bigger that Josh Allen showed up, even though he's getting married in a couple days or a couple weeks. He still showed up, but that's the guy. He's the captain. He has to be there. The Joey Bosa thing, I think injuries happen in this league. I know the Bills Mafia, if you go on social media, they're up in arms with Bean getting this guy here, and then he gets injured. Guys, Bills Mafia, it's the NFL. This shit happens. You have to it's not like Bean rubs a magical ball and he sees the future and he's going to be like, watch me screw over Bills Mafia fans and get them angry. It happens. It's a calf. I thought I saw somebody write there was surgery. I haven't looked that up yet. I don't think there is going to be surgery, but Bean's looking for him to start on that July 10th date or June 10th date. So it sucks. Maybe he can sit back and watch film and watch how the players do and listen to see what the coach is saying. He's a vet. He knows all the stuff already, but it's a different scheme. Maybe the cognitive part of it will start hitting more. And then the physicality part about him, we already know it works. So he just needs to stay healthy. But it sucks, but it is what it is. Next man up.
So, Patrick, I'm going to come to you next, but first I want you to answer, is it more of a surprise that Bosa got hurt, or is it more a surprise that Cook didn't show up?
It's more of a surprise that Bosa is hurt at this point.
Okay.
And I'll touch on that one first. I'm going to go back to my fantasy football roots here a little bit. This was the same type of injury we saw at this point last year, starting with Christian McCaffrey, and he pretty much missed the entire year. So there is a little bit of a concern, especially when he's an older player. These calf injuries, again, they're no joke. You really don't, again, we don't know the full extent. We don't know exactly where in the calf it is. Is it near the Achilles or is it up near the PCL? If it's near the Achilles, you have to be careful when you rehab it because you run the risk of severely tearing your Achilles. And let's be honest, at Joey Bosa's age, if he does that, he's done.
There's no coming back.
So I'll talk real quick on the James Cook thing. Jerry, I agree with you, and then I disagree with you. I do think it's a big deal he didn't show up because now all the questions are going to be coming in. What is he doing? I think he would have silenced a lot of people, even if he didn't participate. If he would have just shown up, I think he would have silenced a lot of the stuff that's going on with him. But not showing up, we just went through this a year ago with Stephon Diggs. This just feels like that situation all over again where the guy just doesn't want to be here. And I'll be honest with you, everybody showed up but him. That's a bad sign.
Yep.
I hear you.
Corey, I think there's still some meat on the bones with this one. Bosa and Cook, one hurt, one no-show. You're up, my friend.
I just, as we were talking real quick, well, I just looked it up, and as of 18 minutes ago, McDermott still says he should be good to go by actual training camp. So there's hope there. Not really. It's not that I'm not worried about it. It's not that I didn't expect it, but like you said, this kind of stuff happens. It's early on, so whatever. Like Jared said, you can't predict what's going to happen with players. As for the Cook thing, a couple weeks ago, if you would have asked me, I would have agreed with Pat and said, it's becoming a thing. He's kind of acting like a little bitch about it. Sorry, don't know if I can say that, but he's acting like a little bitch about it.
We're 2 minutes till 9. 2 minutes till 9. You have to wait till after 9 o'clock to say any of that stuff.
But then
you said bitch and Tom Brady, so
I'm using
this might be the last time. This might be the last
surprise
time.
on you. so no, I mean, a lot of it you gotta look at too. I've been trying to take a step back from my own thoughts and look into it more. A lot of it's social media hyping things up. Like they said, Bean came out a couple weeks ago, right at around the draft time, and said there's no real issue. He's going to do what you want. And like Jared said earlier, he's a veteran now after a few years. He hasn't earned 15 million, but he's earned the time to take off. So no, I don't think it's as big a deal as it really is. Like you said, even the thing with Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen back in the day, yeah, he was kind of acting like a baby about that too. But Allen and him, I believe, are still friends. I don't really think there was as much animosity. Like you said, the internet can hype up anything. They can make a post look so real now that I check everything out. And even some of them, I'll post them like, oh my God, this happened. And then someone's like, no, it didn't. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it did. So
Corey, I'm going to tell you right now, if you go to 24/7 Buff Pandemonium, you'll find out the truth there. We don't post anything other than the truth. So
no, I just get so much Bills stuff, man, that comes through.
Joey.
What's Joey saying?
Oh my God, my virgin ears. It's not 9 yet. It's 9 now. God damn it. No.
So my take on it is I kind of agree with you all. The James Cook thing, I think there's a card that he's playing right now, and it's not a good one. Everyone showed up. He didn't. I don't think he should practice. If he wants to hold out, he can for sure. As far as OTAs go, but at least show up. A lot of people get excited about OTAs. I do reiterate all the time that it is voluntary, but it is a time where these guys can get together, get to know each other, hang out with one another, understand how they practice, and do all that fun stuff together. Josh Allen says his favorite time of the year is in training camp, which is in St. John Fisher again, by the way, this year, guys. Again, congrats to St. John Fisher. But if you're going to build up with the Hard Knocks, that this is a team of culture, it's a team where they all love each other. I'm not saying James Cook doesn't have any of that, but I'm saying at least show up and be on the sidelines and support the new guys that are coming in. I do think that is a fault on his end that he should have corrected, but I'm not him. But hold out if you want. I'm okay with that. Joey Bosa, it's tough to think about the injury. It really is, especially since the people that did not like Joey Bosa coming in were harping on his injuries. So there you are. He's already injured. It's going to be a tough one to come back from. Calf is hard, higher, lower. They say it's a strain, so we'll figure out all that good stuff, what that's all about. All right, guys, we are at 1,100 people almost. It's 9 o'clock. We got a half an hour left. Great show. Comments are coming in like crazy as always. Is my voice still coming through good? Am I still jittery? Or are we all good?
Fine.
All right, very good. I don't know if I'm
Someone said
having
the feed
problems.
froze for a second, but it's back.
Well, there you go. There you go.
It happens from time to time.
So this, I mean, the meat and potatoes of the conversation. We're going to talk about pre-summer, all too soon improvements. Obviously, guys, we know the stats. We know where the Bills made it last year, AFC Championship game. We know we got a MVP quarterback. Corey, I'm going to start you off with this one. We know all that stuff from last year, and obviously, we get excited with free agency. We get excited with the draft. I want to start defense this year. What's your gut tell you? Is the 2025 Buffalo Bills roster better or worse than it was last year in 2024?
Even though I'm biased and there's a couple guys I wish we still had, the big name like Matt Collins, I think personally it's better. I think like we said in the 24/7 fantasy chat, we were talking before the draft. Me, Pat, and Rob were talking and through the uprights before the draft, and in our chat, same thing. And all of us on this show and that show, we all agree on one thing, and that was sell out on defense. If we can sneak a couple key offensive players in there. And at first, I was kind of skeptical. I was like, man, is Bean going to do it? What's he going to? And I think we did exactly in draft what we had to do. We sold out on defense. We got the key pieces we need. We have some veteran guys coming back. We have some guys that are on their second or third year that are going to be in there, a couple safeties. So I'm excited to see what happens. And Bean always tries to get guys and sign free agents that are going to. One thing I love about Brandon Bean that he does is he always gets guys that in training camp that are going to cause you got to fight for the position, not a fight between the players, but just a fight for the position, which makes it fun. It's like high school all over again or college ball all over again. Earn your spot, even if like we know, like Josh Allen, he that like that. But wide receivers, like Khalil's going to start, players like that. But still, there's enough players that there's a little competition in there, and so I love that they do that. I think we filled the positions well. I don't know about 17-0, but if it happened, I want to be surprised. So like we're seeded in all games, so I'm excited for this year. Oh man.
Well, right now, this is the first time in
jinx
NFL
I'm
history.
hoping for the whole thing.
Yeah, there you go. Corey, right now, first time in NFL history, the Bills are actually favored to win every game, which is, hey, to say 17-0, why not? Jared always preaches one game at a time. We are on paper and as a team better than most of the teams in the NFL for sure.
Yep.
Patrick, yeah, defense. We obviously bring in Bosa, we bring in Forrest, safety from Washington, who I think is going to be a surprise safety. And for that competition back there, we drafted Maxwell Harrison and we drafted defensive line and free agency. Is this defense in 2025? Is it going to be better? I mean, let's keep in mind, let's not forget the reason the Bills defense was so successful last year, a lot of turnovers. Ton of turnovers. That turns a lot of things around. That changes their narrative a little bit. You may not be statistically per average yard better, but if you can get those turnovers in key moments, that's going to make your defense look that much better. Are we capable of being better than we were in 2024?
Well, I'm the guy that's gone on record and said towards the second half of the season and in the playoffs, our defense was just bad last year. I mean, you saw it starting with the Rams. They scored almost 50 points. And then the next week against the Lions is the same thing. So we were giving up way too many numbers. And again, those games we weren't getting the turnovers. To your credit, that was helping bail out how bad the defense truly was. I do think they made significant improvements. We brought in a bunch of guys, and let's be honest, our defensive line. Listen, the schedule worked out really well for us because all we have to do is just sit there and maintain for 6 weeks. I can't wait to see what the guys that are constantly, they're not staying in one position, they're not on the field all the time. They're constantly rotating players in and out. When that defense is no longer suspended and healthy, that defensive line is going to feast. I would hate to be the quarterback that has to start against that defense in week 7 or 8. I know
Yeah.
week 7 we're on a bye, but
Week 8 will be Carolina. So,
dude, he's in trouble.
The
Bryce
injured
Young's in
players
trouble.
come back. What, week 6 or is it week 6?
Yeah.
They could
They're-
start practicing a couple weeks prior. So they'll be suspended till week 6. They'll have the bye week, so they'll be all ready to go to Carolina, where a lot
The
of Bills
bye's
fans
what, week 7 or 8?
bye week 7, Carolina week 8. So a lot of Bills fans are going to play golf and watch the Bills game there in Carolina. Jared, defense better in 2005.
Oh yeah, I think Corey said this. The Bills Bean brings always someone back every year, or brings somebody in to get the feathers ruffled in that locker room or on the playing field to make a competition. You know, we've preached this for the last 6 years. Iron sharpens iron. Dane Jackson's back. He's familiar with how the safety room runs and the cornerback rooms runs and how that defense runs. Tre'Davious White's back. He looks smooth as hell. If you haven't seen him today, he looks like he's backpedaling nicely and getting his hips around. Again, he might lose a step, a little bit of speed, but with that zone defense, that maybe will allow that to happen with the cognitive ability of him to recognize stuff now with his veteranism, or is that, if that's even a word?
It is now.
It is now that he can get, that'll add to the. Sal Capaccio made a list today of cornerbacks, and he had Trey White as number 2 right now, and Maxwell Hairston at number 3. That's how I read it anyway. But no, I think this defense has gotten a lot better. Bean really approached it in the draft. We saw that, getting the Hog Mollies up front, getting athletes up front. Milano just signed a little bit longer. Did he restructure or sign longer? I think he restructured.
Milano took a year back. He's only got 1 year left.
Okay, so he adjusted this, right. So he's healthy, as we know right now. And then our guys, Bernard and Benford, they're coming. They got new contracts. So it's a young defense that's starting to fill in. Got some veterans coming back. Got some young draft picks coming up through. And I think it's a great thing. Going back on the turnovers, yes, I know the Bills' turnovers helped them out a lot last year. But when that's coached, that's part of the game. When you see them punching the ball, that's part of the game. The Ravens used to do it all the time with Ed Reed and Lewis and Suggs and all those guys. When you have turnovers like that and you're constantly at the top of the league for that, that's coached. And I'm going to take that how it is. It's part of that defense. And they're bend but don't break. They bet a lot this year, but they had a lot of turnovers to pick them up. But the new fast front is going to wreak havoc on these quarterbacks that they have to play. And I'm excited. Can't wait to see it.
So we can go all the way back to the WGR conversation with Brandon Bean and the conversation about wide receiver versus defense. But that'd take the rest of the show. One of the biggest things that Bills were getting knocked for was that run defense. And obviously they do create a lot of pressure in the front 7, but not a lot of sacks. I think Bean did a great job in addressing those issues with bringing in Ogunjobi and Hoyt from the Rams. Don't sleep on Hoyt. I think Patrick Hughes, we talked about this before the show started. We're excited about him. I think Bean's been looking for someone that's played that Lorenzo Alexander type position where you can bounce him to inside linebacker, outside linebacker, even on the edge, and a guy's a freak athlete. So you can't sleep on a guy like that, and he'll return after the bye week, obviously. But this defense, they went after defensive linemen that are good against the run. And I think I know they brought in the veterans like Jared was just talking about. Trey White. I would not mind a defense where Trey White was a 5th guy on the roster. I would not mind that defensive backfield. Like you said, we play that zone defense. I know we've been playing man a lot more, but you bring someone that's got the cerebral part about it. And we'll talk about this when we talk about prime players in their prime. That cognitive part about it takes over, and then you let the physical part catch up. So he's got that cerebral part, which makes him dangerous as a zone corner. But I'm excited. I do agree. I think 2025 potentially could be a better year for the Buffalo Bills as far as defense goes. And, sometimes the defense doesn't look that great when the offense is scoring 40 points because then the offense they're playing against has to score that many points. So it'll all be subjective, but it's a great starting point, and I think the Bills have addressed all the issues. So I do agree with you guys with that. I think that's going to be a good 2025.
I have one nugget I just want to add that is often overlooked, and it's linebacker number 42, Dorian Williams. No one talks about him. It seems like every podcast I watch, no one's talking about this guy. He came
He's
in when Milano
underrated
was
for sure.
injured, and he led the league and he led the Bills in tackles. He is a monster, and he's just sitting back there waiting for his time. When his time was called, he was coming up and making tackles just like Milano does, hitting the gaps hard, reading the right plays. So, Dorian, if you're watching tonight, we love you. We see you, buddy.
Yeah, Dorian just texted me. He said, "Great show, guys."
Yeah.
But I agree with you. That was one of those. That was one of those things. It's a good problem to have, right, guys? We had Bernard and Milano. Milano comes back healthy. This guy over here, Dorian Williams, leading the league in tackles at some point. And what do? You can't not have Milano play. You can't not have Bernard play. I honestly think that's part of the reason why Milano took that year off his contract to play out the rest of this year, because that man has suffered a lot of injuries. I think Jared, with the injury he had last year, I think there's a lot of pain that goes with what's going on. So don't be surprised if this is his last year. Hate to say it, fellas, but that's what it looks like. So
do you think he'll back off a little bit and play softer, or do you think he'll try to just dog it and go out and just be a beast one last, give it all you got?
I'm hoping Josh Allen, they put 30 plus points up a game. I'm hoping they put 40 plus up this year, and then Dorian Williams can come in and spell Milano and give him the break he needs before he retires.
Or yes, that's exactly what we've been used to seeing, this defensive front rotating all the time. Milano and Williams.
Power of the O's every game.
Yeah, Milano and Williams alternating. I think that might be what you see. Milano knows that injury's pretty hard. He's going to do what he can do, but he also knows that Dorian Williams is right there with him. So you might see a more of a rotation with those two guys. And to be honest, the older guy that can come in and make crazy plays, and the young guy that wants to just go. That might be a perfect combination at linebacker.
I'm not bad about the rotation. Do it. We could, if we can afford it, sign all the defensive linemen we drafted and we signed and get them all and rotate them fuckers out. Sorry. Oh, we're past 9
o'clock.
Them fuckers out, man. No, rotate them out. Keep them fresh, man.
But right now we've got ourselves a situation with that Hoyt guy from the Rams. I know the Bills pushed that rotational defensive line a lot for the last couple of years. We might see that leaking into the linebacker situation. And who knows, maybe Babbage has some sort of 4-6, whatever kind of defense where he's just going to start surprising teams, because we saw how important defensive line and bringing pressure was in the Super Bowl to beat the Chiefs with the Eagles. So I think Babbage is going to have, hey, man, play with these fellas because we got a lot of athletes on this defense. Let's make some things happen. Patrick, I'll let you get your 2 cents in here too.
Quick note on Hoyt. I mean, the thing that won me over with him is, okay, so right after it was announced he had the 6-game suspension, he failed. You saw him in the press conference afterwards. He took ownership of it. He said, yep, I screwed up. Didn't make any excuses for it. And to me, that said everything I needed to know. I'm like, here's a guy that's just, he's made for that culture that they're trying to build. Is like, listen, I'm not making excuses for it. I screwed up. I'm going to pay the consequences for it. Unfortunately, we're going to miss him for the first 6 weeks, but man, like I said, can't wait to see him show up and just start dominating, because clearly the dude wants to do it. So,
Patrick, we're going to miss him for the first 6 weeks, or are we going to really enjoy him for the final 20?
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. A suspension's a suspension, but Ogunjobi and Hoyt will both be rested for that first. I mean, we say 6 weeks. If they come back after week 6, that's the bye week. So it'll be 8 weeks before we see him.
So they have an extra 6 weeks of preseason.
Yep, exactly. That might benefit the Bills. You never know. With the rotational defense, bringing something that they haven't been able to study and throw this back half of the season up for a loop.
Yeah, they're not in film. And
again,
I was mad about the early bye, but I kind of like it. Like you said, Scott, the guys come back week 6 that had the suspension, and then we have that week 7 to kind of figure it out. Like, hey, this is what's been going wrong. This is where we need to plug you in. Let's run it for 2 weeks and see what happens.
And again, unlike Von Miller, they're not going to be coming off an injury.
Right.
So they're going to be 100% healthy by the time they're ready to roll. So
yep.
As far as the schedule goes, that week 7 does suck, but we're not playing international. We're not playing holidays. We're not doing a lot of that stuff that would put a lot of stress. And we have the top less miles traveled in the league this year. It's just
we don't have a whole lot of West Coast teams.
Right.
We only a lot of our games on the East Coast.
We play one game out of the time zone, and that's Houston, and that's only 2 hours behind.
Yep.
The stars are aligning.
They are
knock on
aligning.
wood.
They are
But
aligning.
the last season at the stadium, the favorite in
By
seven.
the way, off air, we
Man.
got to talk about games, fellas. I do want to hit up the comments. As always, Adam Brosco says, "Where's Gabe Davis?" Last I saw, he talked to the Giants. Did he ever sign with anybody yet? Anybody know?
that I'm aware of.
I don't think so.
Someone call Webster's Dictionary and make it a damn word. I'm not sure what Adam Brosco. Oh, Jared's veteраnism.
Veteраnism.
Veteраnism. Rob Mullen says Trey White had the best defensive grade for Baltimore starting at quarterback in a playoff loss to us. Show enough did. And Rob Mullen, obviously part of Through the Uprights, show that boom. I always think of that little triangle football.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Bam.
Pat, our guests tonight, Patrick and Corey, are
I haven't played
co-hosts
that in
of that
years.
on Thursdays at 8:00. Joey Hatch. And with our defensive line being better with the additions, maybe we'll get more turnovers because they'll, yes,
Yep.
for sure. We got a lot of fumbles and interceptions. That what they call it, sack. What's that? The fumble, sack, the trifecta.
Yeah, triple double.
Triple double. Yep. They will be nice additions. Dorian Milano's eventual replacement. Yes. We know that, but wasn't Dorian a liability in the past game? I think he was still learning. But he's got the athleticism to hang out with these tight ends.
Wasn't
Offense.
Miami the only team to go undefeated?
Miami was the only team to ever go
Well, wouldn't
undefeated.
that make the story better if we went 17? I just thought of that. We go 17-0, break Miami's record. Fuck them, dude.
There you go. Hey, quick question for the trivia. Jared, I know you know this answer. The Chicago Bears in 1985 could have gone undefeated. They won that Super Bowl. What team beat them in the regular season? What's that?
The Bills.
No.
Miami Dolphins.
Booyah. Miami Dolphins.
Fuck the Dolphins.
Opening up their champagne.
Yep, for sure. All right, guys.
If he's watching, my brother, Jesse Bellinger, who you guys do know, he married a Dolphins fan. His wife is a Dolphins fan.
Yep,
Love you,
Rachel's a Dolphins
but
fan.
Fuck you.
Yep.
I'm painting their house. She wanted me to do a Dolphins colors.
Oh, man. Yeah, well.
Do it now before the season starts.
I had a lot of thoughts about that when you could add in some. Anyways, we talked about the defense. Let's talk about the offense. Obviously, we know the free agencies they picked up didn't hit hard on offense as far as the draft goes, but we did move some pieces. And I know I started Corey first. Jared, you went last. Start off with this offense. Do you feel that this offense will be better in 2025?
They're pretty much the best offense in 2024. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at improvement from that? I'm going to say hell yeah. We got a running back tandem with Cook that is coming into another year. We have the nice core receivers. Keon Coleman, he's going to be healthy. Khalil Shakir, best hands in the NFL. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, best tight ends combo in the NFL. The line is still there. I think things are just going to mesh. I think we got some other players that are going to start. I think the Prather guy that we picked up late, he's going to make a name for himself. We got Shavers. These guys that shown signs last year are going to come up and make the wide receiver room kind of a competition. But how do you get better from being the best from last year? I think if we stay the same, we're still going to be all right. But I do feel like the little pieces that Bean has put in there is going to make them more efficient. And I think that's the word that we need to look at more is the efficiency of this offense. It's going to be there. They took advantage of all those turnovers last year. We had multiple games where we scored or beat the teams by more than 2 touchdowns. I think huge. That was huge. That was like more than half our games. So I think the Bills offense will be more efficient this year. We're going to have more no punt games like we did 3 years ago. So yeah, better, but just because the little pieces that are filling in are just going to make it more efficient.
And the word you used 5,000 times in that 2-minute segment was efficient. But we always talk about that as far as wide receivers and spreading the ball around and all that stuff. It's not that you're going to lead the league in attempts, targets, catches, all that stuff is what you do with it. So when we talk about a Bills offense, we want to see low drop percentages, high catch rates, yards per catch, all that stuff. Those are the numbers that are the efficacy numbers, the efficient numbers that you're talking about, Jared. And when you spread the ball around, that's kind of what you want to see. Adam Barasco says, I hope Kincaid really balls out this year. And this goes on to a conversation that we had before we went live. I know you had your feelings about this, Corey, so I'll come to you next. Offense, better. What's your thoughts about Kincaid and that whole theory of what looks weird about him being thin? Is that just a mirage that we saw, or is he going to come out and ball out this year?
I agree with Jared. First of all, we filled a lot of positions. Sorry, not a lot of positions. We filled a lot of roles on receiver. You have Khalil, who can catch, and then the yards after catch. In my honest opinion, is the best, one of the top two, or the best in the NFL yards after catch receiver. We've got Coleman, who's coming into his second year, who can go up one-on-one with guys. He proved last year, even if he drops the ball, he has to learn a little bit. But twice last year, I believe, the very next play, hey, send it back, boom, caught it. So, like you said, you got the one-up guy, you got the yard after catch guy. We brought in some speed receivers. And then the photo with Kincaid, like Pat said before, we talked about it before the show. I don't know if it's just a Photoshop thing. I don't know if it's just the angle of the photo. Even if he did lose some weight, as long as it's not a significant amount, like, oh, he lost 100 pounds, he's down to like 175, whatever. But we still have Knox, who could be the big guy and powerhouse and run him. Like Jared also said, two of the best, if not, they are the best two tight end duos in the league this year, or for last year even. But still, I just think it's the Photoshop thing or the angle of the photo, really. So I'm not, even if he did lose weight, he was a wide receiver player too in college. So,
Right.
like you said, I'm not worried about. I think the receivers got better.
I think if you're looking at Kincaid as a wide receiver tight end, like everybody wanted to, then losing the weight's okay. If you're looking at a blocking tight end, we just brought in Jackson Haas, which is he was one of the best blocking tight ends in the draft.
Maybe
and we have
they
Knox
told
still.
him to lose weight.
So
hey,
yeah,
you're the speedier tight end. He's the bigger tight end.
Yep. That's why they carry 5 wide receivers. That could be why they carry 5 wide receivers, because they bring that kid. Jared, I like that you brought Jackson Hughes, the guy that wasn't noted for a lot of his catches at Georgia Tech, but it was known for his blocking as a mauler at that. And I think that offensive line coach there would love to have that opportunity to get his hands on him to learn how to block. But he's also been documented to have a hell of a catching performance just in the small time that he's already been with Buffalo. Patrick, give us your take on this offense. There's a lot. This offense has a lot of meat on the bone. No matter if 10 of us spoke about it. What's your thoughts, my friend?
So I know everybody was disappointed with the whole way the whole Mac Hollins thing worked out, to where, did we offer him anything or not, or rather whatever reason. Look, he didn't resign. I think we still upgraded in that position. We brought in Josh Palmer, and then we also brought in Elijah Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I think Elijah Moore, the only thing that held him back from being a true top wide receiver was his immaturity. If he has gotten over that and understands that, hey, this is the best quarterback I have ever had the chance to play with. If I can't make it work with Josh Allen, my career is over.
Yep.
So as much as losing Mac Hollins hurts, I think we definitely upgraded.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I was going to wait a little later to do this, but since you did bring Corey and I on, there is something that Corey and I started last year when it comes to our offense. Well, everybody eats. Well,
my
power of the
O's. My store was out of them, or I would have done two with them, man.
Everybody eats again. Let's go.
Oh, I don't know how those meatballs taste. They're so yummy.
Man, they're hitting. I got 12 of them in the 12-pack right over there in the man cave, ready for the 2025 season. But no, you're right. I mean, think about all the things that the Buffalo Bills did last year, and now bring into this year with the same offensive coordinator. We got all our running backs back. I don't think James Cook is going to hold out. I think he'll be part of the Bills offense, getting paid $5 million, the biggest chunk of his contract. So he'll be getting paid. But we brought in a blocking tight end in Haas, who will now help out with that 13 personnel. Who knows what's going to happen with Alex Anderson? Bring them all in and run the shit out of the ball. The Bills pundits out there say we need speed at wide receiver. Okay, now we got Khalil Shakir and Elijah Moore, who are both 4.3, low 4.40s. So now we got speed. And that rookie, like Jared said, and who will be fighting for a position. I don't think it'll be one of those weekly active inactives guy, but that Prather guy, 6'4" plus, 4.3, 4.4 speed. I mean, he's nothing to joke about. He's a real guy that they brought in with consideration of pushing towards that offensive, wearing the jersey on every Sunday. So we cannot forget, all 5 linemen are coming back.
Yep.
You can't forget the depth of all 5 of those linemen are coming back. So this is a system that, unless the NFL has figured them out, which they haven't figured this offense out in how many years that Josh Allen's been in the league, it's going to be a rough go for these defensive coordinators with these extra pieces. Now, will that defense give us more opportunities with the turnovers, with the sacks, with the third and outs? We've already discussed, guys, that this defense potentially could be better. We're favored every game. There's no reason why we can't be excited about this offense in 2025, and there's no reason why Josh Allen cannot put up another MVP type season.
Damn right.
That being said, like that segue, is Josh not in his prime yet? Is he in his prime, or is he still not reached his prime? Corey, Patrick, through the uprights last week, discussed this at extent. You guys had a good conversation about it. I thought it was a great topic. You mentioned it before we came on the show today, that should be something we talk about. I think a lot of Bills fans are nervous. We're in year 7. How many more years does Josh have? Is he in his prime? What's going on? Corey, I'll start off with you. What does Josh Allen have a prime, and what does that look like to you? Explain your theories, my friend.
Last week I said on Through the Uprights, and I'll say it again, Josh Allen, in my personal opinion, does not have a prime. He's like a Brett Favre. He's like a Tom Brady. You know, those guys back in the day. He will adapt. He will, even no matter what, every year he's the guy that even if he ended up winning the Super Bowl, he's still going to go back. He's going to have his, sit there for a couple weeks and have his fun. But he's going to be the first one, I feel like, on the team to go back and look at the negatives. All right, where can I improve? Where can I do this? He's the corniest guy. He makes the jokes. He has all that. But when it's time to settle down and lock in, he locks in. So, like the Brett Favre guys and that, I really see that in him. A little Joe Montana-esque, the run, he takes the hits. He's not afraid that, he sees the hit coming and throws it and still takes the hit. And he stiff arms guys, hurdles them. So even when he realizes his body's giving up, he's going to learn to adapt. And like Tom Brady, just start throwing the 5-yard dump outs.
Yep.
Let his players start doing it. So, like you said, knock on wood, it's going to come down to injury, or he's going to be one of those, another 45-year-old guy still playing. So that's why I said knock on wood. So, and even injury, he's not going to hold him back. Look, the last 2 seasons, he's injured.
He's
by
been injured
4 or 5, and he's still out there. Last
Hands,
year I called
elbow,
it. I was like, his
yep.
arm is. I was like, his hand is broken. He broke that, and he was still out there. Like, so he doesn't have a prime. You're gonna have to carry him off the field, and even then he ain't gonna go. So
yeah, Corey, you just said broken. If you guys have a minute, go look at Mike Tyson's interview post-fight about broken backs. It's hilarious. That's all I'm gonna leave it at. Patrick,
I broke my back.
Broke, fractured, spinal. Go ahead, Patrick. What's prime? Explain prime and Josh Allen in a few words.
I don't think we've seen it yet, and I'll be honest. If we continue with the offense where everybody eats and he's not focused on just one specific wide receiver and forcing the ball, I don't think we've seen the prime yet. And again, we may have seen it if he was still had Diggs and was forcing the ball. We may have seen it, but now that he's back on the incline on the way up to the prime. I don't think he's quite peaked yet, and I'm excited, especially with what you guys said with Elijah Moore, Palmer, and again, bringing in Shakir. Again, even if Kincaid's thinner and lost weight, again, that's just going to make him faster.
Yep.
So I'm really excited to see it, and again, he's just coming off an MVP season, and I think this is just the beginning. I don't think we've seen prime Josh Allen, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure what prime Josh Allen looks like.
Scary, huh? He's already won the MVP.
So
Diggs was his best receiver ever. So
yep. Joey Hatches, I think this is the best receiving core Joshua on his head his whole time here. He could put up a better numbers this year than he did last year. Jared, Primo Joshua Aleno. That's Spanish for you guys that speak Spanish. What's your take, brother? Wait, there's something.
El Primo.
El Primo. Huh?
Here we go, folks. We're in overtime.
when you thought Swank wasn't going to make the show?
I know.
I think Patrick said it correctly. If Diggs was here, if we had a diva here at wide receiver, I think his prime would have been already done. Because this Bean gets players here that aren't selfish, and we got the everybody eats mentality. I think Josh's prime is going to last a long time. It's probably currently in it. He's just going to get better week in and week out, year in and year out. He doesn't have to focus on throwing to certain people. He can just be free. So as long as Josh is free to play, he's going to be in his prime. And we saw with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning got older. The defense finally stood up and won him another championship. But he still had a decent season leading up to it. Mm-hmm. And I think Peyton Manning was about 48 then. So we still got a couple years for that with Josh Allen. But as long as Josh Allen can be free and play the way he wants to, and the run to pass ratio remains what it was last year, he'll be in his prime for a lot of years. And Patrick, I don't think we've seen his prime yet.
Yeah. There you go. Rob Nolan says Jordan Palmer brought the best in Allen in the 2020 offseason. That's when his prime started statistically. And I'm going off that because I'm going to put in my 2 cents about it. I believe prime involves 2 things, the athletic prime and the cerebral prime. Josh Allen, we know since day one coming in the NFL with Josh Palmer, he worked on his fundamentals. He worked on his accuracy. He works on something every year to make himself a better quarterback. Do I think Josh Allen is has hit his athleticism prime? I think he's in his prime right now with his athleticism. I do knock Josh Allen every year about one thing it's his anticipation for throwing the ball. He does hang on to it a little longer, but I am excited because I think that's one of those things that he will develop and become one of those cerebral prime things that'll help him get over the physical thing, which we got to be excited about. We saw Peyton Manning lose his arm strength, but still be able to sit in the pocket and deliver that pass. We saw a whole career, and this is the second time we're bringing it up, that Tom Brady never had the physical stuff, but he always had the cerebral stuff, always had the ahead of the game, the anticipation. I think that's something Josh Allen is working on, and that's one of the things that take the longest to work on is that studying the game and figuring it out, and I'm excited for that. I don't think altogether he's in his prime. I think physically he is in his prime, and cerebrally, I think that's somewhere down the road, but you got to be excited about because the Bills will notice that, and the Bills will continue to bring in people that'll help that situation better. And we hope for Josh for another 7 years. And that's exciting. We should be excited. He made MVP this year, and he's only growing. So I had to bring that part up. I thought that was a great topic of discussion you guys had last week, and I think it's a discussion that all content creators should talk about because hey, why not? He's our MVP. He's our QB1. We should talk about Josh more often.
Well, you also saw it at the end of last year in the playoffs when, and again, we all know the play. You could see it in his face when he was running towards the goal line, and instead of just lateraling the ball to the guy there, he just took the sack. To me, that was a huge thing in his growth as maturity wise because. Again, we all know the Josh Allen that we've seen in his younger, a couple of years ago. That man would have lateraled that ball. God knows what would have happened.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Just take the sack. That's much better than that. So I'm like,
play another day. Don't get your body twisted up. Guys, great show. The comments were crazy. We have almost 1,500 straight viewers. One of the best shows we've had during the lull time of the season. Lots to talk about. But as you know, on the K-Gun Report, comments came in like crazy. We do like to hit up final comments. Patrick and Corey, I'll start off with you guys. Jared, I'll end it with you and myself. But thanks for joining us tonight, guys. If you guys like what you saw out of Patrick and Corey, hit them up every Thursday at 8 p.m. through the uprights. It's on the cover too, and it's on Patrick's personal page. But hit them up. Great content, fan first perspective content, which is the content I love because we like people not only for their knowledge about Buffalo Bills, but the fact that they love the red, white, and blue, and that's all they know about them, and they still come on and join us. That's a beautiful thing. So, Patrick, I'll start with you. Give us your final thoughts. Again, tell them about the through the uprights real quick again, and we'll go down the panel through that. Thanks for joining us tonight, fellas.
Just another show that we put together, and as you said, fan first perspective. We don't consider ourselves on that show to be experts by any means necessary, but look, we all have opinions, and everybody tunes in and comments, and it's great. Again, I didn't get into it doing it for any other reason than it's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're right.
Life is too damn short to not have fun doing whatever it is you want to do. So
Right.
Corey, what's up, brother?
I agree with Patrick, man, saying it's not about that. It's not about anything other than I love Bills football and I love talking Bills. And man, the season's starting. We're about to get soon coming up. We're gonna get to St. John Fisher. So I always take my daughter to that. Well, not always, sorry. Last year was the first year now that she's older, so that she can remember it. So I'm excited this year. I'm really thinking about getting tickets to even the Giants pregame because I think that's like the Little Tykes or whatever
Yep.
it is.
I
Game.
think it's the
So
only home game too.
Kids
yeah,
game.
yep. So and she's a Josh Allen. Last year, there's a if you guys go on my Facebook, we took her to the red, white, and blue or the red and blue practice.
Mhm.
And man, like Josh goes around in the beginning throwing the ball around, and he looked right at her and stopped because she was only like 6 then, well 5, but and she was like, "Here he comes!" She was getting so. I was like, "Oh,
Throw
like."
it!
Like, dude, like we said in the beginning, like I'm an ex-army guy, man. I've been to Afghanistan. I ain't bragging. I've been to war, seen some, crazy stuff. But I had a tear in my eye just from my little 5-year-old. Here he comes! I was like,
Mhm.
oh, man. So, man, it Bills football. It fires me up, dude. It fires my kid up. My wife, when I met her, she was like, God, like he's kind of annoying. Shut up when it comes to football. And now she's right out there. She's screaming louder than me. She's like, go, go, go. I'm like, honey, that's the other team. Shut up. No.
Well, Corey, just as a heads up,
Oh,
as my wife and Jared's fiance, they love the fact that we have a show. Just so you know.
right. Yeah. So does mine. Oh, yeah. That's why I'm locked in the bedroom.
There you
There you
go.
go.
But Patrick and Corey, for sure, thanks for joining us. We had a
Yeah.
lot of fun tonight. Jared, give
Appreciate
us
it,
your
guys.
final
Thank you
thought,
so
and
much for
I'll
having
head
me.
us out of here.
No, Corey and Patrick, you're definitely coming back and joining us. Next time we'll have Swank with us. This was a great show. I had a good time. It's like we've been doing this forever. You got our back and forth with you guys is just perfect, and I love it. Again, like you said, Patrick, we do this for fun. We started out with bad sound and all this stuff, and we slowly built up to better cameras and stuff, and it takes time. But we
I
tell
remember.
everybody, we tell everybody that if you're going to start this, just get out and do it and just go. And that's where it all begins. And again, like I said, we're going to have you guys back for sure. Next week, Don Beebe is going to be joining us. So we'll have a little wide receiver in the room to talk football. I can't wait for that. And seeing you guys in the comments. And have a great week. Enjoy the rest of May into early June. And we'll see you guys Tuesday. Go Bills.
And Jared will give us an update on his lawn next week. Yes,
It'll
amazing.
promote.
10 minutes
I'm on
overtime,
today,
guys. We're at 1,500. The comments came in like crazy. The participation was nuts. You guys all spoke about loving the Buffalo Bills and coming on and being able to talk about it. I do want to mention quick, part of the Buff Fan Base Network, a great network, lots of personalities. You get a little bit of everything there. So if you're already not following on Twitter or X, go hit them up. We have 180K following, but that participation, guys, I know you're watching. Click on it. Listen to what we have to say. We get you guys involved in the conversation. A lot of people out there like to hear their voice, and we're able to do that for you. So join us, join that conversation, join the Stampede. That's an awesome thing. 26 shirts. If you haven't already, check them out, even if it's just to see what they do. They donate a lot of money to a lot of families in need. If you do buy a shirt, scroll to the bottom. I tell everybody, make sure you scroll to the bottom because they always include their story. They always include a story of where you're donating to and why we're doing it. So it's a beautiful thing. Del Reed started a beautiful thing a long time ago, and it's taken off $2+ million a year. And all this, guys, coming back to, and I'll leave you all with this thought: Memorial Day weekend. We need to take advantage of the privileges that we have because of people like Corey and everybody in Buffalo Spartan. I know Memorial Day is for those that have passed, but we need to take the advantage of the privileges that we have to do stuff like this, to go to Bills games, to express whatever view we have on anything. We have that right because of guys like you, Corey, and people that given the ultimate sacrifice. We can't thank them enough. We got to remember why this weekend is here. Barbecue, fireworks, all that stuff's fun, but there's a reason. And I encourage you guys to go do some research. And I encourage everyone to just be thankful for what we have because of the people like Corey, Blaine, and Buffalo Spartan, for sure. Love you guys.
Just a quick note on that, real quick.
Yep.
I agree with you. It's supposed to be about the people that have fallen, but let's be honest. the people that are still alive that serve, they're the ones that had to carry on those people's memories and bring them back. So they're as just as big a part of it as the people that have fallen in my eyes.
Yep. And they've had friends that have fallen too. So,
Mm-hmm.
Corey, love you, brother. Love you, brother. And
Thank you, man. Thank you
guys,
for that.
with that being said, we'll see you next Tuesday, 8:30. Don Beebe will be joining Jared, myself. Enjoy those SpaghettiOs. Hey, I'm sending you guys off.
I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Let the fuse and run. Whoa, let that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that in upstate, boy, it's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son.